Hello, little ones. We have gathered together tonight to praise Lord Arteta and his miracle at the Emirates. Finally, and it's just, immediately you say the word finally, and you're going to, The Rock has come back. That's not what I want to say. No, finally, we are champions. 22 long seasons. Oh, what a time to be a Gooner. With me tonight to talk about this and to celebrate. And Stan, if you're free and you want to join us, let me know. Is Cactus Cash, Richard, straight in the middle. Busy man, managed to fit us in. Can't hear his TV. Everything's good. They managed to do it without you running the club shop, Richard. It's amazing, isn't it?
I know. Who would have thought it? You know, they've gone on to, I wouldn't say bigger and better thing because it was awesome when I was there. But it's lovely to be here, Danny. How are you, mate? You good?
Well, I should explain while we are late. There's a USB lead. I don't know what it's called. It's the old one with a thick end that you plug into your old Nokia phone. My microphone works on that. After the last show, I had a pad in, threw it on the floor. And then when I'd recovered, I picked it up and put it on the outside of my computer table's got a door. And it's got hooks on the outside, hooks on the inside. Put it on the outside and didn't realise. I was looking on the inside. I went in the kitchen, went through all the drawers, went through couldn't find it. Half an hour. I haven't even eaten. And then I went, fuck it. Closed the door. And there it was hanging on the door. So that's why we're late. One of my neighbours is smoking weed. Oh, saucy. Yeah, so that's why we're late. I talk a little bit. I want everybody here to talk a little bit about how their immediate reactions. Oh, look at Nick's face, Jesus. Ask the missus to come in and give you a little hug, Nick, and I think you're going to have an emotional breakdown.
I'm okay. I've been good for the last few days.
Have you? Good. Right, Nick, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Been happy. Been playing We Are the Champions on repeat at work for 8 hours a day. No one will come and talk to me, but that's no different from normal.
Have you had any? I'm going to come. Remember, people, the question I want to ask later is, have you had any friends that you've been friends with for 20, 30 years that have come out of the woodworkers Arsenal fans? I found 2 that I didn't even know were Gooners. So that's a topic for later. Also, joining us, because he only ever turns up when things have gone wrong. So has it gone full circle? The wrong is so wrong that we're back to being normal again, Kris. It's lovely to see you with your luscious blonde locks.
It's always a pleasure, Danny. I massively take issue with that. I only come on when it bloody well suits me, whether it's good or bad. That's actually the truth. No, it's been too long, but I've been here beavering away in the background, and I've been basically hoiking the merch around Plymouth the last few days. Just anything Arsenal I can wear, I've been wearing it. I might have. Last night, I kind of slipped and I fell over my credit card, and I kind of ended up in the Arsenal store, and it's got a bit messy. I can't lie. There's been a lot of very spontaneous purchases, and I definitely haven't spent nearly 300 quid. But it's all for a good cause, right? Because we're the fucking champions. So, do you know what I mean?
Plus, you're a civil servant and you've got a wonderful pension that's going to bankrupt the UK, so you'll be fine.
Absolutely. Fuck everybody else as long as I'm all right. That's the way to do things.
That's it. It is currently Thursday, the 21st of May, year of our Lord, 2026. This time, 13 years ago, me and 6 of my mates were all chatting in. I don't even think we had WhatsApp back then. I don't know. And there's only one of us left. It's the one and only Geoff Arsenal, the international man of mystery, the #1 Arsenal tweeter in the universe, and he has been here since day one. Geoff, first of all, have you been awarded an MBE by the King for your services to podcasting? And if not, are we going to start a GoFundMe?
Well, you know what, Dan, right? You know what I'm proud of? I've still got me barnet, mate. Right, I've still got me hair, and all the grief and the stress and the strain that we've had to go through. You can remember the hundreds of podcasts that we went through where we're tearing up with each other, right? And we finally got there, and the relief is unbelievable, mate. It's fantastic. So this is I think it'll be a good one tonight. We must celebrate.
I don't know how we're going to celebrate. We're talking about hopefully Femi's going to pop in and join us later. Ellis is an ex-podcaster. John doesn't even bother replying about podcasting anymore. He's too busy playing guitar on Facebook for the ladies, which is, I suppose, a decent occupation. I want to start with you, Richard. I, much like when you make love to a beautiful lady, or man, it's 2026, or a man, we don't know. You look forward to it and you think, I wonder what it's going to be. I wonder if it's... And then when it happens, you go, was that it? I call it the Christmas Day syndrome, where you build up to it for 364 days. When the day gets here, you go, oh, well, it's Christmas Day. Well, I feel like I should be doing more. I sat there and I didn't, first of all, I didn't realise that Bournemouth, if the game was a draw, that we do it. I thought they'd scored the goal, Haaland scored, and that means it's going to go down to the last day. And they went, well, Arsenal were champions. So what? Fuck about what? How? So then I sat there and then I did a tweet, and then Sean did the exact same photo on Instagram, and I thought that's just beautiful that me and my daughter have put a picture of her when she was sitting on my lap in 2004, just after the Invincibles. I'd used the photo, she'd used the photo, and I sat there and I thought, what now? What did you do now, Rich? How did you go through that last hour or so? Because I felt guilty for not going outside and doing a carpenter.
So I'm probably the worst person you've come to for this question bit, because I actually didn't watch the Man City Bournemouth game. I couldn't watch it. I hadn't watched the Everton Man City game that they drew. I didn't watch that. I then watched the Man City Palace game, which they battered Palace. And I'm not usually into all the, as my wife calls it, the hoodoo voodoo and all that sort of stuff, and the, jinxing things. But it wasn't even so much that. It was just, I thought to myself, I can't watch them. I hate watching Man City, this horrible, soulless, inevitable, corrupt T1000 marching behind you. And I didn't want to watch it. And my wife, obviously, is probably knows is a Spurs fan. She was downstairs watching the Spurs game. Right. I slunk off upstairs and, potting around, tidying up and doing bits and bobs, keeping myself busy. And I'm getting loads of messages left, right, and centre. Because people, are you watching this? What's it? And I'm, no, I'm not watching. How come you're not watching? No, I don't want to know. And then I kind of, as I've not really been on social media at all, really, for the last I actually did, rather than put on the game, I actually went onto Twitter, of all ill-gotten places, and I kind of but saw the last 5 minutes through that kind of thing, and it felt even worse and horrible. And it was when it said the full-time whistle went, and we got over the line and we were champions. It was just an explosion of kind of just relief. All that pent up frustration and anguish and having to, that horrible feeling in the pit of your stomach. Oh, that, they're going to give us grief again, because nobody catches pelters quite like Arsenal. And it was just this wonderful explosion of relief and just, catharsism. And then, like I said, I've not really been on social media at all, but it was just a flood of just videos and posts, and it was just it was glorious. The only slightly sour thing that I had was I wish I'd jumped on the Piccadilly line and got myself down to the Emirates. I think I'll regret that for a long old time. But yeah, it was just, for me, it was pure relief.
Kris, as it's been a while, and I saw some of you shared your Instagram posts in the WhatsApp group, and you celebrated quite a bit. I think there was almost tears at one point, wasn't there?
Oh, there wasn't almost. I was like a child at Christmas, to use your Christmas analogy. Funny, actually, when you said about the, it's that feeling of like you wait so long for it and then you wonder what to do. I haven't had any problems dealing with it the past few days, but that initial shock. So unlike you, because I'm a proper fan who actually does his research, I was aware. I'm joking. I was aware that we could win against Bournemouth, and I sat there probably like most of the other guys here tonight probably did, and I was like, do you know what? I don't know, because the previous game when they played Palace, I just didn't watch. I was like, well, they'll beat Palace. Palace are on the beach, and sure enough, they did 3-0. And then the more I was listening to a few podcasts during the day, and the more podcasts I listened to, the more I thought, you know what, Bournemouth are quite good, aren't they? They're quite good, and I do have a bit of a love affair with Li Junior Krupi. Of course, we know how that turned out as a former Lorient boy, and I was like, So I kind of did that middle-aged woman thing. No offense to middle-aged women, but I did that sort of, well, I'll just clean the flat and I'll have it on in the background. I'll do some chores and I'll just have it on. And then that progressed to, well, I'll stick the Spurs game on and I'll have the City game on in the background. And within an hour, it was like, nah, glued to the TV. As soon as Krupi scored, I was like, well, I can't. I did that thing everyone does here where it's like, right, well, I started watching, so I can't move because I'll jinx it. So I have to watch now. Like, whatever happens, I can't jinx this. And then at the end of that, I mean, when the whistle blew, there's a lot of things. Maybe I'll touch on this in a little bit because I don't want to take up everyone's time. But there's some of those emotions you have in life where you can't really describe how it feels. It's just an emotion. Kids being born. Haven't died yet, so I don't know how that feels, but just
rough.
Yeah, childhood memory, first time we won't go there. But it's one of those, it's just one of those emotions where you just don't know what to do. And I'm not a big fan of self-indulgent social media posts unless it's to do with running, but that's another story. But the reason I sort of took the picture of myself that I did was because I wanted to remember like this moment, and because we don't know, do we? It might be a year, might be another 22 years. That's half my life I've waited for that moment. And it was just like that, just outpouring. I was on the floor, I was stood up, I was at the window. I did everything apart from basically strip and run round the road. And it's not a very good idea where I live because I live on a main road. But much like Geoff, I think if I'd have been, and what Rich said, much like yourselves, if I'd have been in the local area, I would have been there. I actually saw a guy who ran from, I think it was Dagenham, on Instagram. He ran from Dagenham to Highbury, and he was listening to the game while he was going, picking up people sort of on the way to the ground as he went. That's definitely what I would do. But I'm going to be there on Sunday. I can't wait. I'm going to see a lot of old faces I haven't seen for many years. So yeah, just tears, snot, lots of expletives. I lost my voice after West Ham. I'm amazed I've still got a voice today. And that's not a joke. I genuinely couldn't speak for about 3 days. So work's been fun. But yeah, as I say, literally half my life. I'm 43 now, 22 years ago. I was 17. It's crazy. And we deserve this. We really do deserve this.
How about you, Geoff?
Mate, it was mad. It was a mad situation for me because I got the games mixed up. I had to take my daughter, she's a budding tennis player, to a lesson. She plays at Wimbledon 8 o'clock at night till 9 o'clock. So I thought, okay, I'll take my earplugs with me and I'll just listen to the Tottenham versus Chelsea game, hoping that Tottenham were going to get battered, which basically they did, really.
Yeah.
So we don't forget we're travelling. I got there. Time we got out of the car, I got out of temp. She's gone off. I was with my wife and got to the courts and got there, put my earplugs in, and it seemed like straight away all I could hear was, "Oh, we're going to go to the Vitality Stadium," and they just scored, Bournemouth. And at that point, I was completely fucked all night long because my head was completely, I was just gone. I don't even know. I can't really remember a lot about it. I never saw any tennis, although I was looking at it, right? Because I just never saw it. And I was just listening to, it was Talk Sport I was listening to, and I was at the Tottenham game, then it was at the Bournemouth game, then, back and forward. But I was just in a mad haze of, because I didn't even realise that they was playing, and I thought, "Fuck me, they're 1-0 up. We can win the league tonight." And I was pulling my wife around. We can win the league. We can win the league. It was crazy. And it was afterwards. We was driving home, and I thought to myself, "No, you know what? Should we go to the stadium? And I thought, my wife's quite strict on the daughter getting home. We're already late. She's late for bed. She's only 12. She's late for bed already. 9 o'clock at night. Blah, 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 blah. I thought, no, I better not. I won't even ask. So we got home. Then I got on the socials, and I think I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't go to sleep. I woke back up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was only last night that I went to bed. You know, it's just a proper haze, and the content that I saw. I mean, you know, I've been on Twitter for a long time, and I was very, very busy on it early doors. But the content I've seen is just unbelievable. I'm watching the people arrive at the Emirates. I don't know whether you've seen the one that from the Arsenal website. They've got the camera right outside the armory.
Is it like a motion capture where it's like loads of
a few people out there, a couple of
time lapse?
20 people out there, and then there's 40 people out there. And after about 45 minutes, it was like rammed, and it's getting mate, and it was just an amazing thing. The emotions, we cried, me and the wife, because we go there every week, you know, and watch the games and the stress that we've been put through, like I said earlier on, over the course of and the just stress that everyone's been through. And I think all Arsenal fans really, really deserve it. We'll no doubt talk about, you know, a little bit more about the players and everything as we go along. But that was me. I didn't even, and it was a complete surprise to me that I thought I was playing on the Wednesday night and not the Tuesday night. So it was amazing. And funny enough, I think I've been at all the others when we've won leagues. So that had been I think a first time for me where I hadn't. I don't know whether we've ever won it without playing. You understand me? I can't remember we've ever won it without playing a game. So
was it 91?
I was going to say, I think it's 91. Yeah, I remember Alan Smith talking about it somewhere this week.
What game was it? Can you remember?
We won it again. Well, we didn't win it against Man United, but we played against Man United, I think, in the last game of the season, wasn't it? Not last game of the season, but that was they gave us a go. No, 91.
I went to that one. That was
Didn't the 91 one hang around West Ham playing Liverpool and Liverpool had to beat it. Look, it's Dom.
No, that was 94.
Aussie Dom's in the chat.
There he is.
Look at him, good-looking bastard. I'll go and have a look, Geoff. But you carry on.
Yeah, no. So it was really it was bizarre. I really couldn't get my head around it. I was absolutely gone. It was a mad, and I will never forget it because that you know I'm over there watching tennis, but I'm fucked. Honestly, I was completely gone, and love it. I actually loved it.
So going from one extreme or two extremes with Kris and Geoff of their excitement and they're just letting it all go. Nick, did you crack a smile? Did you acknowledge it in any way? Did you go, or did you put your pants on your head and streak?
Well, I thought about doing that, but I'm already on a register. I don't know what happens if I get twice for doing that. But yeah, I got a bit confused because they kicked off early. I thought that was an 8 o'clock kickoff. So by the time I thought, I better see that Man City are like 4-0 up after 20 minutes. And I was like, they've already been playing for half an hour and it's 0-0. Very interesting. So I put the TV on and Man City were on the attack. So I turned the TV off because obviously, like Rich, I'm a jinx. I thought, no, I'll put the telly on. I'm going to jinx it. So then it went on the iPad. And then they started attacking again, so that went off. So by the end of the game, I was just like refreshing like the scores app, just looking at it. And then when I saw it went 1-1, I'm like, no, I'm out. I've jinxed it. It's over. And then I saw the thing, we're champions. And I was like, oh yeah, that was nice. And it just felt weird because, like I said, I can't remember 91 because I was like 6, but I remember obviously 98. 2002 and 2004 because like I was watching the games on TV with my dad and my granddad at the same time. You know, we were all watching it together, like hoping. So a lot of memories of that. And I was like, so I just said to the girlfriend, Man City are lost. She was like, yeah, Arsenal won the league. She went, well done, I suppose. I was like, Oh, that's all I got. Wonderful. She made up for it later, but yeah. And then I just felt I don't know if I liked it because I want us to. It feels like we haven't won it properly like we have before. But then I remembered like so many times. I think it was it Leeds twice where we lost, and because we lost, Man United won. Obviously, bringing up horrible memories.
David O'Leary because he was manager.
Yeah, and so I remember the pain, and like one of the like worst things I remember back then was I think it was either the first Leeds game or the second Leeds game. I think it was before the Invincibles.
Madueke at Highbury.
Yeah, I think so. They won, and then rather than do that, they just cut to Ferguson in his house opening bottles of champagne. I'm like, they wanted us to lose. They were ready with the cameras to that, and I just thought. I felt so bad and hated that so much. And it made me feel a little bit better that maybe Man City players are going, Man City supporters are going through that now. So that made me feel a little bit better. And like I said, by the time I got to work the next day, and then I saw my dad, a few Arsenal mates at work, and we had a good old laugh. And like I said, for some reason, like the Liverpool, Man United, and one Spurs fan has just been avoiding me like the plague for 2 days. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's always fun, and I will get him by the end of the week. I will, and especially if Spurs go down on Sunday, I don't care. I'll go to HR. I'll find out his address, and I'll go get him.
Rich, where do we stand on this is the worst team? I said it last week because we don't want to jinx it, but the worst team to ever win the Premier League, the lowest number of goals ever to win the Premier League. Didn't have the least number of goals conceded, but I know there's a lot of copium coming from Manchester City. I mean, I've seen some Liverpool fans actually being quite nice about it, but Spurs, Man City, Chelsea, they've all been arseholes. But have they got any grounds to say that? Because it doesn't really matter how you do it, does it? I mean, in the George Graham days, the 89 trophy was won on goal difference on the very last day of the season at their ground. So we scored 69 goals all season. And looking back in previous season, the champions, Liverpool 86, Man City 96, 94, 99, 83, Liverpool 85, Man City 95 and 106. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I couldn't give a toss. We're champions. I don't care. In a year's time, 5 years' time, no one's going to. Oh, you scored 69. No, I don't give a damn. We won the league. We were the best in the league. Nobody else could touch us this season. And I think when talking about is this a strong league or this is the weakest league, it's not been the weakest league. This Premiership has been one of the strongest really overall. You've only got to look at all of the teams' results in Europe. Villa have just won the Europa League. Crystal Palace are looking like they've had a really good chance to win the Conference League. All of the English teams got into the latter stages of the got out of the group phase of the Champions League. Whereas, yes, the top two in Spain and only the top team in Germany and the top team in Italy did, but they're others. They didn't do anything, and it's because our league is ridiculously strong. And it is, one of the things that I noticed about it as well is, I don't think Arteta wants to play pragmatic, boring football. He doesn't want to play pragmatic. We've had previous seasons before where Arteta has had a team that scored more than I think any of the team that Wenger had managed under Arsenal. Correct me if I'm wrong, kind of thing. So it's not something like that. But
have a look.
So I'm fairly certain there was either not last season, I think season before. Yeah. I think we had scored more goals than pretty much every other Arsenal team that's come before, or something like that.
That was 2 seasons ago. We scored 91 goals, and the most Wenger ever got was 85.
So, he's got it in him. I don't think he particularly wants to play pragmatic, boring, corner set piece football. But, you have to cut your cloth accordingly and adjust to the tactics of the thing. Every team that we come up against in the league, and even the mighty Man City with all their ill-gotten superstars and state-funded, oil-funded transfers. Look at where at the start of the season when Haaland had more touches in Man City's penalty area than they did Arsenal's penalty area. That's how he was basically playing as an old-fashioned right half. So, like every team that we tip up against, sits in a low block and it's hard to break down. Everyone now is at a technical level and everybody works their socks off. Like I think I put in the group to you guys, I was like, can Burnley stop bloody trying? They're already relegated and they were running around like absolute lunatics. That's how hard this league is to win. And like I said, to circle back to your original point, Danny, I could not give a toss what anyone says about. Someone said I was out and about earlier on, and as I was waiting to pay, and I had my Arsenal shirt on, he went, "Oh, you guys were lucky with the league." So I don't care, mate. I don't care. We're champions. That's all we really can say to them.
Anyway, don't worry, gentlemen. I won't out you on this, but I'm just looking through some of the pictures there because I think one of the people in the WhatsApp group, there's about 12 of us in there because all the Goonosphere people are in there as well. And we all put in, I think somebody started when I was this old when we won it, and then I was this old, and then people started putting old pictures. I'm just scrolling through and my tweets. I see one of you, Kris, with all your standing there with the golden trophy. I won't share it because if they want to find it, they can find you on Twitter. I'm trying to find one.
You can share it if you want. I don't mind.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't mind.
Have you got any other points about what Nick was saying? Because I'm not here to ask questions all night. You lot can make some decisions.
I let Geoff go first on this one because he shared a brilliant video of a cabbie talking about this, didn't he, Geoff?
Oh yeah, the ginger cabbie, bless him.
Yeah,
it was very funny, wasn't it? It was very funny. So what was the question? What have I got? What I need to talk about?
We're just talking about how other teams are reacting to how we've done because they're all jealous.
Well, we've had it all season. It's been every single narrative all the way through the season. Set piece FC, all and it's just it happens. Arsenal, they get the most clicks on the socials. So all the big hitters, Sky Sports, Talk Sport, all that lot, that was always putting stuff up, narratives all over the place against Arsenal because we're a talking point and we're a sleeping giant, and the giant has now woken. I said many years ago that we just need one big FA Cups. I don't include those, although they're big domestically. We need to in the Emirates era, you need to win a big trophy, either the Premier League or the Champions League. And I've been saying it for years. If we lift one of those, that's going to escalate us to the stratosphere, and we're going to arrive with all the other big teams. And hopefully this can be over the next 5 years, with Pep going out of it, so we hear, and Chelsea rebuilding, and the problems that they're going to have, because I think they're going to go popping within the next 6 years, to be from what I hear, from what I read. You got Liverpool. They're again. They've had a dodgy season, haven't they? So I think we can take control now for the next 2 or 3 years, and you got to think about it. Arteta came in and he said, trust the process. And it was another narrative. We'd take the piss out of him about that. And the playing the cop sound at the training ground when we was playing Liverpool, and all those little bits and pieces. But let me tell you, you can tell he's a coach. He leaves no stone unturned. He doesn't leave any stone unturned. He thinks of everything. Whatever way we can get an advantage, he'll do it. And what we've seen over the last 5 years, the progression every single season. And you was right, Rich, when you said that Arsenal was never going to come out. We see it last year. That 3 years ago, we just didn't have enough behind us to get it over the line. Youngsters coming through. 2 years ago, again, we didn't have the people to finish it on. Last season, we had a dodgy start with the dodgy decisions that put us too far behind from the start. But we've always progressed. But this season, we got Berta in. We spent a few quid again, strengthened the team, and we have strengthened it. We've had a few injuries. Otherwise, we'd have probably cleaned everybody out. But we had a few injuries. But where we've got that strength in depth, we just carried on. And he was never going to play open football. You're right. It was, along the way, he's seen us make mistakes and drop vital points against the Southamptons, against the West Hams, against the Bournemouths in the last 2 or 3 seasons, in critical areas of the season. So he's not going to put another team out. He wants to get over the line. He needs to get the players to get a trophy, win the trophy. Then I think he's going to start again and say, okay, let's get a few more creative players in now, open up a little bit and outscore teams. And I think that's what we're going to do. But, you've got to credit him. You've got to give him credit for what we've done. We've been second 3 times on the spin. First year was the quarter final of the Champions League, then the semi-final of the Champions League. Now we're in the final of the Champions League. We was in the cup final earlier on this year. Right, it's an amazing achievement from where we were, back at the back end of the Wenger days. So I salute Mr. Arteta.
Well, how wonderfully put, as my mouse has decided to no longer work as a mouse. So I won't normally have to throw it. Anyone else? Has anyone else got anything to say about that?
I was just going to quickly come in on Geoff's point there and ask the question. Do you think now, because like you see, he's now got that trophy now done in the bag, right? And he's got the big one over the line. Do you think, to coin the phrase of the Wenger, do you think the handbrake is going to go off now and the pressure is going to relax and we will, along with that, brick wall of a back line, will start being a bit more expansive and a bit, more dominant? Because I think we've been a bit panicky at times because of the pressure.
I've been told by someone at the club who knows a lot, and he told me this was just after pre-season, and he said, "Listen, Arsenal, they're in such a good position. Everybody wants to come and play for Arsenal. There's certain players that would love to come to play for Arsenal, and I think that he's gonna definitely." He'll buy again this season. He's going to go again. He's going to have the cash to go again, because we've had that situation where before, when Usmanov and the red and white holdings is in charge, that Kroenke, and rightly so, if he slung any money into it, he was giving part of it to red and white holdings where they had the shareholding at the time. So now he's got red and white holdings and Usmanov and his cronies out of the way. It's a different kettle of fish now. And that's when he started funding us a little bit with regard to helping us along the way with players. And I think that we'll go again. And like I said earlier on, I just think we're going to turn it into a superpower now. I really do believe that with the sleeping giant has awoken, and you see it the other night with all the people at the stadium. It was just an amazing outcoming of people that, it was the biggest thing I've ever seen, and I've seen some. Don't worry about that. And I just think there's going to be people all over the world that recognise it, or they'll all come out, and we're going to be. Apparently, the shop sold more in one day in that shop than they have ever. The shop at the Armoury, record receipts in that shop. That's in one day. And that's the kind of thing that it generates. You win a proper championship or a Champions League. You get recognised, and I do think that'll fund us. We'll get more money to go and spend. We'll get a better quality of player. We'll deepen the squad with better quality, and I think we'll push on.
Well put, yeah. I'm going to have to go and restart my browser because my mouse is completely not working. It's not scrolling in Brave, so I'm going to have to restart it. So you be all right, Chris, to point people in the right direction?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
haven't already seen it, I've sent you a rather amusing picture in
Yeah, I'll share that when I come back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me slide into the host duties a minute. Rich, let me come to you first of all because you're first in the box. So, in terms of where do I go with this? Champions League final, right? We don't want to like get onto the whole sort of preview and all that yet because we're still basking in the beautiful joy that is the title victory. But with that Champions League final upcoming, is that, in your opinion as a fan, is that almost a bit of a free hit now? Because I'm old enough to remember. I'm sure you are. Geoff definitely is. In fact, probably you are as well, Nick. But I remember the Barcelona final, and
I was there for it.
Yeah, there you go. Same as me. So I'm sure Geoff was. But there was quite a lot of pressure on us going into that because it was almost like that side was coming to not the close, but it was almost like that was the generation, the Henrys, the Perez's, the Rayas, the Lindberghs, the Campbells, like the Leymans. That was almost like that was our time to win it. Whereas this time, it almost feels like we're going into it. I wouldn't say it's a free hit because it's a Champions League final, but it's almost like the pressure is not there now, isn't it? We can just we can go into it knowing that we can be back potentially, even if it doesn't go our way.
Yeah, I think for me the pressure, the way I viewed it, the pressure is the fact that if we had stumbled and not won the league, then all your eggs is in the Champions League, and then you've blown everything. Whereas now we've not I don't care kind of thing, but whereas if we'd lost the league, I would have been absolutely devastated if we lost the Champions League now. Whereas now we've got this league after 22 years, and all the beautiful things that have happened, like, you know, going back to, let's say, what Nick said about, and I agree with Nick slightly, and I wanted us to raise the trophy at the Emirates, but that wonderful, beautiful, spontaneous gathering of just so many wonderful, joyful people has just made me think, I don't care what happens in the Champions League final, but we're free. We're free. We're uninhibited. We can. There's no tension now. Whereas, you know, we have to win. We have to win. Now we can go there with the possibility to win, with the freedom to win, without the fear of losing, because we've got this trophy already in the bag. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Like, I think, let's say, I think that having that league title in the bag is freed us up. It's lifted the mood of everybody, and I don't care if we're the underdogs against PSG. I think this is going to really embolden the players, and this is going to say we're going to go after it. I think I really, really do. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. Nick, are you? If we win it, will you be able to raise more of a "that was nice," or are you?
Yeah, I'll say, that was wonderful. I might watch that back one day.
How lovely!
Yeah, how lovely. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird this year because, like, Rich was talking about, like, the pressure on Arsenal. You know, the players, the manager, the fans, and this season, I know because social media has been going, getting bigger and more prevalent for years. I've never known a club to get this much pressure put on them from, like, the fourth game. Like, every week, every station, everyone who has ever played in the Premiership are coming out for their 2 cents on it. And I did, like, I might have been Odegaard or Rice said it a few weeks ago. He said, I feel sorry. I think it was Odegaard. He said, I feel more sorry for the fans getting the grief and the pressure because we're so busy playing football, we haven't got time. And I do wonder sometimes whether it's in football, you know, sometimes that pressure gives you that bit of an edge, like, actually, because it can, the mentality depending on the person or the team could like inspire them to play better and try harder. So it depends how you think. But I have noticed, I don't know, because obviously you watch a lot more football than me, Kris, that it's almost as if we're a completely different team in Europe compared to the Premiership. It's like every European game that I watched this year on Prime, they're the only real ones I've enjoyed, because that looks like more like how Arsenal want to play and how we normally play. You know, that's why I think we've scored a lot more goals. It's been a lot more open, probably because it's a cup competition and teams are not happy playing the low block and just happy to get away with a 1-1. So, you know, I mean, they say we're underdogs. I don't know. I think it's a lot closer than people think. I would say them probably slight favourites because they won it last year, and you know, just the amount of talent they got going forward. But I think that's probably 60-40. I don't think we're like rank underdogs at all.
If there's one team, and Danny left as one and he's come back as two, so we will introduce the new body to the chat shortly. But I want to give Geoff a moment here because, Geoff, the one thing I would say, and yes, I do know a little bit about PSG, I think it'd be fair to say, but we'll save that for another pod because this is not the time. But I would say that one team that they would least like to be playing is us right now, because we have the tools to certainly do what other teams probably didn't, in much the same way that some people thought Inter could last year. However, Inter basically had a team of pensioners. We don't. We've got young, hopefully fit individuals, and I feel like we can be the kryptonite. You're going, and what's your sort of initial feelings? Does the title make you feel more confident or take the pressure off in any way?
I see this Champions League, right? You don't just go in it and win it. It takes time. You look at Paris, the money they've had to spend, City, the money they've had to spend. You always take even us back in the day. It took us a long time to get to that final. It's a build-up. You can't just do that. It don't happen. Not in this. You get to knockout stages and you're playing them foreign teams where you're not used to playing. It's a really, really difficult game. And you think. I remember playing when we were champions. I think it might have been after the 98. I think we played Benfica in the old European Cup back in, I think 1991.
91, 92, I think it was.
We played Benfica at home. It was an absolute exhibition of football. I think they'd done us 3 or 4 at home, and we thought we was a proper team. Even back to the days we played at Wembley, when we played, who did we play? The Russian or the Ukrainian team that we played. They come a bit with Shevchenko and the other guy that was up top for them. Yeah, and Batistuta at Valencia, I think, at the time. We was coming up against 10, and we thought we was the governor then. We had mental back five, and we thought, but we was getting outclassed. So you don't go into this tournament early days and win it. But we've gone in there 3 or 4 years now. We've been into it, like I mentioned earlier on, quarter-final, semi-final, now a final. But I do believe, honestly, like what Rich said, I think winning the league, it's really released the pressure off the players. They've realised now that they're Premier League champions. Everyone knows the Premier League is probably the toughest league and the hardest league to win in maybe the footballing world. So when we're in the Champions League final, the pressure's been taken off of them, just like. Because they're like fans as well, although they're players, they feel the pressure as much as what we do. And they're thinking, oh, wow, okay, we're the best team in the Premier League, right? We've won something. It's not the end of the world if we put up a good show and we just get beat tight. You know, they can go in there, they can play, they can open up. It's a one-off game, you know. I fancy Arteta can send them out there and just say, listen, obviously they're going to have set pieces and stuff. That's another thing. I fancy that we could go and win this through, ironically, a set piece. A 1-0 would do us. But I'm hoping that we can go out there and just perform the best we can. And if we can, and I do believe if we can get Paris into the second half level, I think they struggle in second. I've watched them a load of times, and I think I've seen them against the Villa game and the Liverpool game, and I do think if we get them into the second half, and if we can lock down Kvaratskhelia and maybe Dembele, get hold of Vitinha in the middle of the park in the second half, we might be too powerful for them. That's what I'm hoping for. Get plenty of corners, and we see what we go from there. I fancy us, I really do, because of the pressure's off.
Danny, you left as 1 and you returned as 2. So I will hand the show back to you, and you can bring in Frimpong. Sorry, Femi.
Here is the Femi is he's a man who he's the most emotional gooner in the entire of our WhatsApp group. He's either high or he's low, but he's always stressing about something. He's now stressing because you didn't manage to get a ticket for the final, did you?
No. I'm literally on Reddit now, and someone's just offered me a ticket for the lovely price of 7K. Imagine that.
Yeah, but you are going to run on Sunday, aren't you?
That's changed down the back of the sofa for you, isn't it?
You have one of your footmen go and shake all the upstairs sofas. You'll be fine.
Listen, mate, I had someone offer me a ticket on this silly app today, and I said, okay, how am I going to get it? And he said, oh, well, if you send me all these details, then I'll give it to you. He's asking for like everything, my passport number. I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to give that to you.
Then you'll turn up even if you're not there.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to spend money, Fem, then you need to DM me, and I'll find you one from somewhere. Don't worry, I'm sure.
All right, let's do that, because I've literally just booked my hotel like 10 minutes ago, so
Then
I'm
you could make
definitely
a killing
going.
on the hotel, though, couldn't you? If you don't go, you made that a couple of grand.
Well, I've already paid for my flights. I made the rookie error of booking a non-refundable flight.
So Ted, we were talking earlier about what we did as soon as the build up to the game. A couple of us didn't realise, me and Nick didn't realise, and Geoff wasn't sure about what points. I mean, I've only just seen that we're 5 points clear with them in the league. I thought we were only 4 points clear, so it shows how much notice I take. So your feelings before the game, what games did you watch that night? And the moment it come up Arsenal Premier League champions, what did you do?
I couldn't stay at home, actually. I was just that nervous, so I went to Costco to do some shopping.
Like a real man.
And as soon as I walked in the shop, Kroupy scored, and I actually screamed in the shop. And I looked around, and I was like, oh, yeah, no one else saw that. And then I just went to a solo dinner, left my wife at home, left my children at home, and I just went to an Italian restaurant and just sat there by myself and just watched the game.
Beautiful.
Love it. Absolutely love that.
The stuff legends are made of. You should get a documentary.
Just sat there, and
I
I just sat there and I watched the game on my phone in the restaurant, looking around. And as soon as we won, jumped in my car, tried to get to the Emirates. I just had to abandon my car somewhere. And then when I did get there, it was impossible to even get anywhere, to be honest with you, but ended up catching up with my friends down near the Armory. Finally, it took me like an hour just to walk from Holloway Road to the Armory. I had to go all the way around towards so I tried to go through the middle of the square where we usually walk in. Couldn't get in there because it was just
go around Drayton Park.
I had to go back around towards Highbury Islington and then walk around that way. Then up the ramp. I didn't expect it to be that packed. It was absolute. I mean, they said it was 100,000 people. I thought it was like more 50, but then I remembered when I was coming, people were leaving. Loads of people were leaving when I was coming. So it was just, and the whole Holloway Road was absolutely jam packed. But honestly, I can see the same thing happening this Sunday again, from what I've heard.
There was a guy. Wasn't there on? I was listening. I think it was on the Tuesday Club, or was it Tayo on Totally Football? I can't remember. And he said that one of the guys from that pod ran into somebody who'd driven from Bristol. It just randomly just went, "I'm going." It just absolutely love that. And I hope when you were sat in that restaurant, if you know this reference, you'll know this reference. If you don't, then hopefully somebody in the chat does. Did you order 4 pilau rice, fam? 4? That's insane. If you know the reference, you know the reference. If you don't, please watch Peep Show.
I'm bowing to Rich on this one because
I got that straight away. Yeah.
Rich got it. Yeah, if you've had a Peep Show, you know.
I love Peep Show.
I think Geoff wants to come in, so I will hand over.
Yeah, so we've all, most of us have got kids here. So for the ones who've got young kids, like Rich, are your 2 Arsenal fans? Because it must be tough for them because they want to please their mum, but they must have it in their heads. There's no way I'm going to be a Spurs fan in this modern era. It's not 1961 anymore, is it?
So unfortunately, they say the kids are like young kids, let's say 16 and 17. The oldest one. Yeah. I'm helping my youngest do her GCSEs at the minute. So Lily, my eldest, she used to be an Arsenal fan. Well, I made her an Arsenal fan. Like if you search for Lily the Gooner on YouTube, you'll see videos of her as a little kid singing Arsenal songs. But unfortunately, she got corrupted by the mother and the father-in-law and that. So my youngest, Amy, she is an Arsenal fan, although she could not care less. I had a membership for her, and she'd get a birthday card every year, and I'd get her a kit. But yeah, she couldn't really care. So, but it was so they didn't really. Unfortunately, like I say, they didn't really care. Weirdly, it was quite funny. Like at the end of the game, I was downstairs because I said a bit like Geoff. I couldn't sleep. I was literally just. What's the opposite of doom scrolling? Joy scrolling? That's what it sounds a bit like about watching porn or something. But
scrolling.
Bring you joy.
Just watching just the content of just wonderful things happening at the stadium and the videos, and like I said, like Kris said, I was in tears as well. That one that the club did with Wenger at the start, with oh my God, I was in floods. But in my eldest daughter, she came down, and we had a talk and a laugh and a joke about it all, and things like that. Because obviously she knows she's into sports. She's doing a sports journalism course at uni, and she plays football. And like I say, she plays for the local team. So she knows what it was about and what it was going. So that was nice. But unfortunately there wasn't that mad, breakout thingy moment. Unfortunately.
Do you ever say to her? Do you think it's too late for you to change, darling?
Yeah, well, yeah, I do keep saying, mate, you made the wrong choice. Did you make the wrong choice? But yeah,
well,
it's what it is.
Sean's mum, her 2 aunties, and their mum and dad all Spurs. And I converted her mum from Spurs to Arsenal. Femi, you got young kids. Are they able to grasp the how monumental this occasion is, or do they just go, "Oh, all right, thanks, Dad, nice"?
No, I think they get it. To be fair, I mean, my daughter's not. I mean, she's a passive supporter. My son is actively a supporter, even though, to be fair, like I don't know if they really get it, but then I don't know. He's 10 years old. Like he gets it, but I don't know if they understand or have the attention span to watch a 90-minute game of football to make more sense of it. They prefer clips and YouTubes and stuff like that. So all the content is what they're loving. They're loving the content, but all the game. If you try and sit them down to watch a game, they might watch a second half, but usually it's I'm going on YouTube. They'll catch the highlights in the morning. That's usually what children are into these days. To be fair.
I suppose at that age, you're not going to sit down and tactically break it down with you, are they? They're just going to go Arsenal!
Oh, don't worry, I'm always running tactics by him.
Yeah,
he just sits there, looks at me like, yeah.
So, as everyone who listens, go on, Kris.
I was just going to say, do you know the weirdest thing though about? And I don't know if this is just an age thing. It probably is, but I remember growing up, barely, but I remember growing up. Sort of in my what the kids would say like the heyday now would be in terms of like sort of, I don't know, 14 to 25, somewhere in that bracket. And I can still remember, funny enough, my son's mum, God bless her, what a trollop. Anyway, I was always of the view it was that banner. Was it the Aaron Ramsey banner? It was like the the Arsenal Golf Wales, that, or was it Bale? Is it Bale? I think it was Bale.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was always my thought process. It was like literally Arsenal comes first above everything else. Family, friends, meetings, work. Like I could be fucking homeless as long as I had Arsenal. That's all that mattered. And gradually, as you grow older and you mature and you realize that actually having a home is kind of important, and you do actually have to feed yourself and your family, and there are certain things you actually have to do. And the older you get, you never if you support a team, whether it's a football team or just something you're passionate about, you never lose that passion. The fire is always there, but other things get in the way. Life gets in the way, and we're all busy people and we've all got lives. And the weirdest thing is, the past couple of seasons, I've slowly been able to sort of disconnect, mainly because I can't afford fucking TNT Sports anymore, so I can't watch every game anymore. But jokes aside, it's like that ability to step away from the game almost makes you appreciate these moments even more, because when you are just so locked in and it's all that matters is like win, lose or draw. You know, I remember like cancelling. I was like, oh, I can't go out Saturdays because I've got to sit and listen to the game. But that was how it worked. Now I can go out and sort of just be chill. And it's so funny how as soon as we got to around about I think it's probably the post-Man City game, the old me came back. I was like, no, I have to watch every game. I have to be glued. I have to be locked in 110%. Because I couldn't step away from it. I couldn't draw myself away. And it's such a weird thing when you can kind of let go, but then these things happen and it just drags you right back in.
Because you don't want to constantly be hurt.
Say again?
You don't constantly want to be hurt and let down, so it does drift away from you.
Yeah, it's true. And it doesn't make you any less of a fan. It's just an age thing. And I almost feel sorry for the generations that are growing up now, because it is all like short form content. It's TikTok, it's all this. Christ, I grew up in an era where I still remember Arsenal being linked with Alessandro Del Piero, reading it on the back of the Daily Mail. Like, that's the era I grew up in. I grew up in teletext and Team. Did you remember Team Talk? You'd pay like £5 a fucking hour to listen to listen to some bloke go, there are rumours that Arsenal are a football club. And you'd be like, fucking superb. Like, and you know, I still remember my dad coming in with a phone bill, and this is in the 90s. The phone bill was like 20 quid. Nowadays, that's about $4,000. And he's like, what have you been? He thought I'd been dialing porn lines. And it was even worse when I said, no, it was Arsenal, it was Team Talk. It was like, but that was the era we grew up in. You know, we didn't have access to this. And the one sort of thing that I've been really caught up in, I think I tweeted about this earlier on today. You know, I've got repetitive like wrist injuries because I've just been like that meme of the woman in the slot machines, just constant. I've just been liking everything. It's
that's what it was, Chris.
Yeah, no, that's what that. But it's so and something that's, I think only a couple of journalists have picked up on this, or maybe a couple of Arsenal podcasts I've listened to. Like Fen was saying, there was uploads of 80 to 100 to God knows 150,000 fans in North London the other night. And okay, yes, we were all joined by the same passion, the same love. No trouble, no violence, no looting, no aggravation, no rival fans, just a family of people who all share a common bond, all from different backgrounds, different colours, creeds, the whole lot in one area, just enjoying themselves. And all this sort of rage bait bollocks, and these podcasts are saying, oh, let's all pick on Arsenal. Martin Keown did a really good piece on this on TalkSport. I saw a clip where he's just saying, he's like, I don't give a shit if Tottenham go down. I don't care what Chelsea fans say. I don't care what Liverpool fans say, what Man City guys drinking a bottle. This is about Arsenal. This is about us. This is our moment. You know, the time for receipts, which I'm sure Geoff can touch on, that will come. You know, will be insufferable, but the time for now is for us to enjoy this, and that's what we deserve to do.
I saw a really good tweet and it was a picture of the thousands of fans there, like you said, everybody all joined, and the caption was, "Don't let anybody tell you that we aren't a massive club." I think that was it was just it was. had me in floods of tears watching all that. It was, as I said at the top of the show, I regret I had a meeting at 8:15 in the morning, and like every day I was umming and ahhing, do I? It would have taken me about an hour and a half to get there. And I regret not going down there. I really, really do.
Nick, you got anything to say about this lot? Did you dress any of your cats up in Arsenal gear because you don't have any kids yet?
No, I gave my girlfriend an Arsenal shirt about 3 years ago, and I think she's wore it once for bed, and that's about it. But normally it's like, oh, I'll take that off, babe. We lost. You put me out of the mood. Take that shirt off.
I love this geezer. Honestly, he kills me, this geezer. I swear to God. I love him.
Yeah, but I just remember because I posted a month or so ago. I actually gave her some history lessons, and I made her watch Fever Pitch. And I was just remembering that they were saying, I mean, what did he say in that? 18 fucking years, and we just went 22. And I just remembered it because that's fresh in my memory. How he said he was like couldn't remember, but he said that when Arsenal won the league, when they played away, that hundreds of thousands of people spilled out around the stadium and Highbury. It was magical. And obviously they did that at the end of the movie, but obviously they didn't have that many people. So it's like we've literally witnessed that, like the magic and stuff like that. And when you see, some of the other videos floating around when Man City won it a few years ago, and they had about 14 people turn up to their planned thing outside the stadium and stuff like that. It's, it is a magical thing. Football should make people happy like this all the time, because that's whereas, I mean, pretty much since this podcast started, we've all been kind of miserable, for whatever reason.
Fucking pretty mildly. It's been a fucking nightmare.
Doom and gloom podcast and stuff like that. And like I said, I'll tell you what, when I told my mate at work how I felt after it was, I honestly, and I've felt a bit anxious and stressed the last few months. So I've got some other stuff going on, trying to move and getting engaged and stuff like that. And I said to my mate at work, I said, you know how I felt last night? I felt like Frodo Baggins at the end of Lord of the Rings when he threw that in there. Just, it's done. It's over. I just felt like that, just so relieved. And then I still had to get up for work at 5 o'clock in the morning. But honestly, I slept like a baby straight through the first time in 5 months. It was lovely.
Nice, Geoff. You've got older kids and you've got the young one who's 12. Does she been sporty? Does she grasp it? Or I take it she is a gooner. You've managed to make sure of that.
Yeah, it's just she's always been. She's just bought into myself, and my wife is a gooner. That's one of the reasons why I married her, to be honest with you. And so she's obviously seen us every week either go. She's come as well with us a few of the games, and loud and proud. Made me really proud when she got up for school the next morning. I take her to school every day. I'm lucky to do that. I love it. And straight away, we live in Wimbledon, right? All Chelsea around here. All Chelsea fans, you can imagine, can't you? Through the good era that they have had. So they're either Chelsea or Fulham, and all the kids at school, they're all Chelsea supporters or Fulham supporters. The Saka black shirt come on with Saka on the back, scarf round her neck, put her on the scooter. I take her on my scooter in the summertime straight to school, and we was getting people bibbing up and shouting out and everything. I've got me Arsenal top
wonderful.
on. It was mental, and I was really proud of her because she's just gone in there full blast, all the kit on, and just it's just an amazing thing. Yeah, so she's really bought into it. She loves the Arsenal. She knows exactly what it means. I mean, they mean everything to me. You know what I'm saying to you? And so she knows how I am with them, and she's bought into it. It's been great.
I've got a few pictures I want to share with you. Chris said I can show this. He's given me another one of his pictures. Share
I've got
screen.
two more that I'm literally going to send you right now. Of
Okay.
we were talking to Dom earlier on. I'm going to share something with you. You can share the other ones first, but I'm just going to send you two more that are absolutely brilliant.
There's Chris with he looks like you've only just put down the crack pipe in that one. He's wearing an England number 3, which was Ashley Cole.
That's when I gave a shit about England. It's that long ago. Yes, it was an Ashley Cole shirt.
In the background. Actually, I've just found George, Sean's mum, brought me over that yellow shirt behind you. It's in the bedroom. She's never worn it. Size XL. So if anybody wants to buy a yellow O2 shirt from that era, let me know.
What do you think? What do you think about when you think of that kit? I'll give you mine. Robert Perez chipping it at Aston Villa.
That kit for me, it's Piero's curler at Anfield, or it's Freddie Ljungberg away at Man City. Weirdly, just weirdly random. Yeah.
I'm going to show you. I've got that picture of you. There's another one here. There's only 2 more from me. Share screen and then make sure it's the right one. Boys, keep your hands out your pants. I'm going to show you my grown sperm. Look at that. I bought her that top. She said, I'm only going to wear a pink one. Dear, oh dear. She's going to break some more hearts than she already has. So anyone screen grabs that, I'm going to be angry with you. And to make up for showing you my beautiful daughter, I'm going to ruin it for you and show you this one. It's when I was trying to wear my 1997-98 JVC kit and I couldn't get it on because I've lost about 4 or 5 stones since then, maybe more. So sad face me with an Arsenal shirt, the red JVC one. Couldn't get it over my belly. And that fitted me in 1998. That is sad times indeed.
You needed a bit of pre-season, I think, there, Dan.
I need a bit of Vaseline there, Geoff. There's another one here of... I won't ruin the surprise. It's this one here. There it is. That is Chris and Dom, Aussie Dom, who was in the chat earlier. There's brought up this other one as well.
That photo was taken against Bournemouth on September the 9th, 2017.
Wow.
What was the game that we all went in the box? Boys, what was the game? What did we play?
That was before, Geoff. That was when OG came over. That was against.
That was a good day. OG was there as well, wasn't he?
OG was there, yeah. I think Ozil scored, didn't he?
The last minute, I found a box for us, didn't I? And we just
if you do in there, Sean will drop what she's doing and drive me down there. So this next picture is Carl, and then it's Dom. Carl is 6'9", so Dom is pretty tall. And there's Chris, and he's called you Richard. And there's Chimp, who I was speaking to a little while ago. And there's Jason on the right-hand side. Was that day when you all met
same
up?
Day. Yeah, same day. Yeah. And then that night, Dom and Jason and I went out for food. And we went to this little. I think it was Vietnamese. I hated it. It was miserable, but the other two loved it. So it's the first time I've ever eaten Vietnamese food, but it was the most random thing. But yeah, that was 2017. So it's kind of crazy that this weekend will be the first time I've seen Dom in basically 10 years, which is absolutely bonkers. But that's what this is. That's what this is all about.
I bet he's still a handsome bastard, isn't he, old Dom?
Oh, he's
God bless him.
It's sickening. Like I have to share a bloody hotel room with Jace. I mean, talk about downgrade. I mean, Christ. Like...
There's certain of us who like to share photos of ourselves. So,
I've got a question for everybody just while we're here, because I've had a discussion with other people about it. The Invincibles and this current team, who wins?
I'm going to say the Invincibles because they could score goals. It's going to be tough.
They score them against us, the current team at the moment. That's what I say. You know what I mean? It's a tough one, isn't it?
Well, the Invincibles are going to get smashed up a bit, aren't they? Gabriel's going to have a few of them.
It depends on the outcome of Budapest, doesn't it? Because that was the one. It was the one thing that Arsene couldn't get over the line. So I mean, does that change things? I don't know.
Yeah.
I still think, and maybe it's recency bias, but I still feel like what Mikel has done, and I'm the first to hold my hands up. I tweeted this the other day. I've said a few things in the past couple of years about Mikel, and I've been frustrated. Like as you're entitled to do, you're entitled to question methods and certain things. You know, it's not always going to be sunshine and roses. But if you go back to that, was it 2019 that he arrived, and you look at that squad that he inherited, and how much of a mess of a club we were, players in contract and wages that we should never have paid them, players that should never have been at the club
than any player at the club now.
And it wasn't just the players, it was off the pitch, it was the commercial side, it was the fan base was disjointed. Arsene did as much as he could until the very end, and even by the, obviously we all know what happened at the end, the poor bugger. We were a mess, and for Mikel to do what he's done to unite it, and you said earlier on, Danny, about this whole sort of, you can talk about the light bulb thing and the, setting fires and whatever Mikel does. I don't care. Everybody is motivated by different things, and for him to build that squad, and I do want to put this on record. Stan and Josh Kroenke, in particular, Josh, I think, deserve an awful lot of credit, because it's not that long ago that a lot of our fans were still on that roundabout during COVID, trying to hound them out. And with you absolutely right for what was going on at that time, they had every right to voice their opinions. But for what I think Josh in particular has done, with probably Stan's backing, is he's back to manager and he's back to project. And for that to come about, I think Arsene, and those Invincibles, it was a moment in time. Some of the football they played, to this day, you watch those old tapes and it's mind blowing. But it's a different league now, and anybody can beat anybody. And I do think that we are on the cusp of something amazing right now, and it is a big achievement. Do you feel that nostalgia, Geoff, when you look back at that?
Oh, mate, yeah, of course. It's just been a long, But you know what? The thing, I've not enjoyed the last 12 games.
12 years.
12 months.
Shitting myself for every game. It's just like, mate, come on, And I just think it's the way we play, but we, it's we got over the line, and the relief. That's what I mean. The pressure's totally off now. Like you say, or Richard said about the Champions League final. You know what? I just feel great confidence going into that game, just because nothing's changed over 48 hours apart from us winning the league. But what it's given me the confidence, I can only imagine the actual players are thinking the same. And if it does, then we go out there with freedom and just play. It'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. What about the other guys? What do you guys think? Are you on the Invincibles team, or?
I don't know, man. You know what? The fact that you know what it is. It's just the fact that when you look at what this team's actually done, when you take a step back, when you're saying they've lost, what if they played 61 games, they've lost 7, they've won 42, 43 out of those, they've conceded very few goals. I mean, that stat about them only being behind for 30 minutes by more than one goal, and that was only the league. Yeah, 5,000 minutes was it, Danny? I said. Yeah. And they've only been behind for 30 minutes, more than one goal, and that was the League Cup final, where the team was a bit all over the place and tired and stuff like that.
Remember the start of the season when we didn't even concede a shot for the first so many games?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
exactly. And I was thinking, we're going to go through the season. They're not even going to score.
Too easy.
Yeah, so you would think that. That's why I'm less worried about next week. I know you can lose by the odd goal, but a lot of people think that PSG are going to do what they did with Bayern with us. We just don't do that. We just really don't. We're not that kind of team. Someone said 19 clean sheets. I think in all competition it's over 30 something clean sheets. That's
19 in the Premier League.
What's the most we've conceded in one game this season, Dan?
It's just Man United, 3. That's the only one.
Yeah,
the 3 against Man United, and before that, the last time we conceded 3 was that Luton game like 3 years ago. So they don't concede more than 2. So as long as we can score 1, maybe 2. If we score 2, I think we'll win the game. So I don't know. But then Invincible didn't lose a game, so it would probably just be a draw, to be honest with you.
Yeah, draw. That's what I said. I cannot pick a winner. It's mad.
Two nice things. Like, we don't have to choose, do we? We can just have nice things.
Yeah.
Is there a moment? Sorry, Danny, I've sort of taken over here, but
no, any of you want a question? I only get it go. I give it a shove at the beginning, and then you look control and run it through to the end.
Well, I'll give this one to everybody on the panel, because it got me thinking. There's always that question of moments of the season, or like goals of the season. You could pick out hundreds, but I don't know if anybody wants to share theirs. But mine, it's a weird one, because I love the Eze hat trick. That's a real standout for me. But the one moment when I sat there on my sofa and I went, yeah, we can do this, was the Newcastle away game. It's so long ago. It feels like, was it September last year? And we were a goal down. I think it's 84 minutes, and Mikel Merino flicked his wonderful head, and we got the equaliser. And then Big Gabby popped up in the 94th minute. And it was just like, because it just proved to me that it's like, right, we can go to these shithouse teams that are just not very good, but always get results against us. And that was the statement for me. That was a really big moment. I just wonder if anybody else has got a moment where they thought, yeah, like, we can do it. Go on, Nick.
Yeah, I got one. It's the Everton game. Obviously scoring near the end, and then little Max Diamond scoring that goal. It's like when we see a game and we go, oh, here we go again. We know this feeling. We're going to draw and draw again. It's not happening. And like, similar to the Newcastle, obviously we scored and scored again. And that just make you think, maybe that is going to be our year this year, because we're not doing, we're not blowing it like we did 2 years ago. And I think, like, to go back a little bit to the other question, what Danny said, like comparing this team to the Invincibles, and a few years ago, obviously the Invincibles, you had Wenger and David Dean, his backroom staff, all the players were all fighting for each other. They'd been together for a few years. Everyone was just united and loved the club. Whereas you go back, like, that's like we are now. But you go back to the last few years of Wenger, people forget, you had the Cronkies and Ushmanov fighting for complete ownership of the club. You had, Gazides always in the paper. Like, I was like, you shouldn't be in front of a camera talking to people. Your job is to make sure Wenger's got what he need. And whether or not it's true, apparently he was putting in signing players that Wenger didn't want towards the end. So it's like I said, the club wasn't united. They weren't all on the same page. And it did feel like they were just in it to make money and just get the top 4 trophy. And I think that's what Mikel has sorted. He's got everyone on the same page, got rid of all the people that shouldn't be there. And that's why, comparing, like, why we've won it now compared to then. And I don't know if you guys, but I always hate these comparing, like, football teams or boxers to years ago. I think this team would just run the Invincibles into the ground more than likely, because, I mean, like I said, one of your favourite players, Chris, old Freddie Ljungberg, they said he used to cover more ground than any other player at Arsenal and in the league for about 3-4 seasons in a row. Centre-halves run more than him now, like cover more kilometres a game. So I think it would be like something like that. But then with the Invincibles, have they got enough skill? So I think it would just be efficiency and pace and energy versus skill. So it'd be nice to watch it. And if AI keeps going the way we're going, maybe in a few years we can watch that game and see what happens.
Definitely. It's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody else has got a moment?
My moment was half time at the Fulham game.
What were you doing, Rich? Come on, tell us.
I was on my sofa in awe at hearing the crowd absolutely erupt at half time, at the half-time whistle. I think, you could pick out loads of little moments, like you could probably pick the entirety of the West Ham game and Raya's save and the amount of saves that he made. But the way you framed, yeah, exactly. The way you framed your question is, when did you know, kind of thing. Because I was fully, I thought, oh my God, I don't think Man City are going to drop points just because of the PTSD from previous seasons. I thought I can't see them dropping points. Even if people are trying to say, oh, this is the worst Man City team which it isn't. But that game, that Fulham game, the way we came out the blocks and we tore them apart. Yes, Papa Wenger had cooked them a dodgy lasagna the night before and that, and they might have been a bit under strength. But yeah, that noise, I think I spoke about it in an earlier pod. There was midway through the first half, Ben White got his feet mixed up and ballsed up and lost the ball and then tried to recover and fell over. And rather than the groans and stuff like that, the fans just launched into the Ben White song. And like I said, when that halftime whistle went, I've never heard a roar like that ever for a halftime whistle. And I think that was, for me, was a moment when I thought, this is on. This is different. This feels different. It smells different. We could be doing it this year.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Geoff.
That one's easy.
It's just not a great big one, but it was in my mind at the time. It's exactly the first thing I thought when Man City came to our place, went 1-0 up against the run of play, and just completely shut down, put 11 men behind the ball.
Yeah.
I have never ever seen that from a Pep Guardiola team. I thought, you know what, we've arrived here, mate, because you got a proper manager like this guy, who has always been on the front foot and wants to pop the ball about and retain possession. And they just went into a low block, absolutely mackering themselves, just trying to survive. And I just think that was a light bulb moment for me, thinking, well, you know what? If Pep Guardiola, who knows a little bit more about me than football, if we put the fear of God in Pep Guardiola and the Man City team, then we've got a right good chance of winning it this year. And that was for me.
I don't know if you heard me because Geoff, I didn't realise Geoff was talking. But my one was, I didn't know until they said it on the telly. And at no point to this season did I think, probably with 5 games to go, I thought this is City's, because we're going to shit the bed like we always do. Because after being a goon, I've been into football since 1984, 85, when I got my first Panini book, even though I was an Arsenal fan. You get it beaten into you psychologically that Arsenal are always going to bottle it, every single final, and then when you are the best team in the country, even then, because of one scenario or another, Wenger could never make back-to-back titles, and you think, oh, when's it going to go? When's it going to happen? And then you get let down at the last minute, dodgy decisions, definite favouritism from the referees for northeastern teams, for Liverpool and Man City over the years. They have definitely had the rub of the green. And finally, it seems it was our time. Did you answer your one, Kris? I think you did, didn't you?
Yeah, just families left on the moments.
Just a couple of shout-outs. I think the Bayern game at home is when I thought, everyone was billing that as the 2 best teams in Europe. And we absolutely, for me, we blew them away. They barely had a shot in that game as well. Villa at home, because I remember Villa were on a crazy run at that time as well. They were like, I think they had won like 10, some crazy amount of games in a row, because they started the season really badly. And people were saying Villa were in the title race. They'd just beaten us a couple of weeks before, and we absolutely blew them out. Apart, it was 0-0 at half time. 4-1 it ended. It was 0-0 at half time. So that was one. But for me, and this is really weird, the moment I relaxed was when we lost at Man City. There was something about that performance that, because I'd been angsty about our performances. That's my main thing. It's like, we're not playing well. But for some reason in that game, something seemed to just free them. And something changed. And we had a few players back. The injuries were going away, and we looked more cohesive.
Didn't we get beat the week before in the FA Cup or something like that? Or one game
we lost
Southampton,
to Southampton, and we lost to Southampton, we lost to Bournemouth, and we were coming off that was our 4th domestic defeat in a row. But the performance made me relax to the point where I didn't even watch Man City's game that midweek, because I knew, okay, they're going to beat Burnley, and then we just start a game from there. And I think that's when I thought, okay, we can actually do this. And
that West Ham game's got to go down in history, though, isn't it, as well?
Oh,
that's just mad. What a mad game. That's what I'm saying to you, the tension. And when the referee was on his way over to the screen, I thought, I know what's going to happen here. This is Arsenal.
Same.
There's no way in the world it's going to be the first time ever. Ironically, it happened the other night, didn't it? When the referee just went against what the VAR was trying to tell him. But I was adamant in my mind, see this guy, he's not going to overturn it. It's going to be a goal. But that was, what a stop from David Raya.
I was going to say that Raya game, I almost dropped a hernia when that happened. It was Jesus Christ. Yeah.
That people have legitimately got that tattoo, haven't they, after review West Ham?
Yeah, that's right.
They used it in the club used it in their what's it called? I thought it was brilliant. I love it.
But it's not just the moment; it's the piss it boiled afterwards. I mean, you had West Ham fans literally losing their fucking minds over what was, we had a week of just media just debating this blatant foul, and it's like when you watch it back now.
I got a few Tottenham fans on some of my WhatsApp groups. They were screaming the track down. Yeah. It was a goal. I said, mate, we've done you a favour. What are you talking about? They wanted Arsenal to lose the league more than wanting Tottenham to stay up. That's completely fucked, honestly.
Sums them up, though, doesn't it, Geoff?
Completely messed up.
We've got a question. Go on, Geoff. I thought you'd finished.
No, David Raya is my player of the year,
Who? Honestly. Oh, Raya. Mine.
He has been absolutely incredible.
19
I honestly do think he's the best goalkeeper in the world. When he first started, he was nervous for us, wasn't he? We didn't know. He'd come in from thinking. What was the other guy that went out? What's his name? Ramsdale, correct? Yeah. He was doing quite well for us. A good goalkeeper, steady,
A fan favourite.
He was a fan's favourite, very popular. But when Raya come in, although you could see he was a proper ball player, he was making a couple of rickets. And the best thing about it, I recollect now, was even if he made a mistake, he wasn't scared to do it again. He'd just carry on. And because he had confidence in himself, and he's just built his confidence over the course of the time. And I just think he's amazing. Some of them saves, you see them clips when he's pulling the ball out, like the David Seaman one back in the FA Cup semi back in the day, when he's pulled the ball off the line. It's like, and those are vital points that we gained.
That one against Brighton was outstanding. Was it Brighton? Oh, it was just amazing. And I think because I agree with Geoff, I think Raya is my player of the season, and I think the biggest, one of the most startling things is when he didn't play in the Carabao Cup final, and that's not me trying to bash Kepa, because I think Kepa, especially for the 5 million we paid, is a serviceable keeper. He's a decent enough goalkeeper, but the gulf, you see the drop off between the lads. David Raya for me, I think is my player of the season anyway.
Well, again, Pep again in that particular game, he knew that Kepa, and he changed his tactics, didn't he? He said, all right, let Kepa have the ball. Right, he's going to give it to us. He's going to have to knock it long. If we press just the front three, let Kepa have it. He's going to have to knock it long, and he didn't fancy Gyökeres up there, did he? Obviously, So, and that's what happened. That's why they won the game. But
you look at you go back to probably your initial era, Geoff and Danny in particular, like the 90s, where Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger would both have the same. A good team is built on a strong defence and a quality goalkeeper. You had obviously Schmeichel for United. Less said about him now, the better. Bitter twat. And of course we had Dave Seaman, and it shows that if you look at this season, look at our rivals' goalkeepers. Chelsea. Do I even need to say anything about the two they've got? Man City apparently upgraded in Donnarumma, who cannot catch crosses to save his life. Yes, he's a brilliant shot stopper, but can't pass exactly. Man United, they've been through 3 and now they found one who's, serviceable. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Alisson's on the wane and they haven't got, Mamardashvili, I wouldn't trust any more than Kepa.
Tottenham laughing stock, aren't they?
Yeah. So, it just goes to show that if you don't have a strong goalkeeper, because it's not just about the defence, it's about the whole unit. And when you've got 2 of the best centre-backs in Europe with the best goalkeeper in Europe, and we've had to rotate our fullbacks a little bit this year because of injury, but we haven't suffered with that as much as we could have done because those 2 centre-backs in particular have stayed fit, clear of suspension. I think it's only Gabby who's had a period of time out injured this year. And that foundation, and then you put Declan Rice in front of that. Zubimendi as well, like the first half of the season was immense. That obviously the drop off in the second half, but I think the guy's knackered. But you look at the difference in what Rodri has given City since that injury. He's half the player he was. Whereas you look at what Declan Rice has done for us. We all talk about that it's not over moment, but God, that man's a fucking horse, isn't he? The ground he covers and the leadership he shows. And I do think Martin Odegaard gets a bit of a rough deal because I think he is a very good leader as well. But Declan Rice doesn't need an armband to be a captain of this side. He's just that. Everything he can do everything in midfield, literally everything. So the key spine, if you will, was in place before we even realised it was in place. The summer recruitment did that job brilliantly.
Nick, your player of the year, and then I'm going to read out Dom's question. Or did you already say it?
No, I didn't say it. I can't probably Declan Rice.
Yeah, that's the one.
Between him and Raya, that's always seem a bit weird giving it to if you want to give it to a goalkeeper, that sort of makes out that we didn't play decent football and we just relied on a goalkeeper all year. It seems like a lot of teams that just stay up in the Premiership give it to the goalkeeper for making loads of saves. So yeah, probably Rice. And
I think he starts our play though, Nick. He's a bit more. He's different to other goalkeepers. He does start our play.
Oh yeah, I was the biggest not hater, but I was like, there's nothing wrong with Ramsdale. We all like Ramsdale. I couldn't see that it was that much of an upgrade. And this season, I thought, normally in the WhatsApp group, I'm like, Ramsdale saves that. Ramsdale saves that. And I think
every time.
Yeah. And then I was like, actually, Ramsdale wouldn't have saved that. So we got that this year. So.
And then we were going doing things he'd be distracted by, the shininess of stuff or another pigeon. But loved Ramsdale. And I'd love to see him back at the club one day because Raya might want to go and play in Spain, could be in Spanish and go to Barcelona.
I think we should also, just before you read Dom's question, I do think we should give an important shout out to a very underrated member of the Arsenal backroom staff, and that is Win the dog. So, I think
that is.
I think big shout out to Win because
another stone unturned by the great man Mikel Arteta, bringing in the dog and calling him Win. The psychology of that, and they all took the piss out of him. Right, Win the dog.
And everyone knows that animals bring out happiness in people. They just give you a little burst in the morning. So when you're feeling a little bit down, you can't be upset with a cute little lab. You just can't.
There's anyone?
Go on, Timmy.
Go on. You're talking about dogs.
No, I was just going to say that they've done an experiment in a prison. I think it was either here or the USA, where they've given loads of cats to the prisoners, and all the violence has gone because they've all got cats.
Yeah.
Timmy?
I was going to say, does anyone feel that I've got a feeling just from listening to his press conference today that they've got a film or DVD or behind the scenes of the season coming out?
It does feel like that, doesn't it?
I feel like they've been recording stuff. Yeah. The stuff, there's some video. The tree, the stuff with the tree. Have you guys seen this tree thing?
Yeah.
Have you seen the because he was talking about the tree today, how he took the players to the tree with no staff and all of this.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember seeing a video just about this tree that he planted.
Yes.
When he got there, like what a guy! Like he's such a visionary when you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like he built the club basically from ground up. You know, clearly he's in a mentality of, I mean, he's with some probably high level elite mentors or coaching people that coach coaches, because stuff like that, like if I went to a job and I wanted to motivate people, I'm not thinking about, oh, let's do these tangible things that the people on the outside probably think, well, what does that mean? You know, when they were talking about the fire, they just said, oh, he was burning a fire and the Watford training ground were upset because they were choking. But then it turns out, oh, he was telling them to burn away negativity. Like, when it makes sense, some of this stuff. I would never think of it. But yeah, I think that's those things are just amazing. Those things are things that will stay with the club forever now.
Fem, you know, if you wanted to plant a tree, right, in a new job that you went into, they'd probably call the police on you, bro.
Yeah, they would actually. Yeah. and also, if you're Mikel, you've got to have a chill environment, because when you've got a madman like Andrea Berta crowd surfing behind you, I mean, like that's his boss for like, and he's just like one of us, you know. So,
to get some proper kudos, mate. When the Simeone moment was unbelievable.
What a guy!
He's gone over there thinking, "Fucking, I know what you're at, you bastards."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just carry on with the game. Carry on with the game. Simeone's come marching in, and he was ready for him, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, it's just
mate, brilliant. Fair play to him.
It is crazy when you think about it. Like the director of football was almost on the pitch, like during the match.
The other day, I thought Declan Rice was going to tombstone powerbomb him. He picked him up and swinging him around.
Yeah,
gave him an F5.
It's brilliant, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? We've made it, lads. We've made it. We got there. You know, it's great that we can. That we're all happy and we're talking about it. It's a great night. Brilliant.
Two quick questions before we go. Our own Dom, he's left us, but he's still here in and I still got a seat somewhere at ABW Towers. He says, this is a really good point. Nick, you can answer this one first because you've been a bit quiet. Dom says, question for the panel. How important do you think it is that Arteta got it over the line against Man City with Pep in charge rather than after he's left? Because the line would be, oh, yeah, you only did it because Maresca was in charge of City. What do you reckon?
In football, there's always, oh, you only did it because of this, or what you did doesn't count because of this. I don't, other than personally for Arteta, because, you know, the student has now become the master, like just for him, I think that's going to do wonders for him personally. But in the grand scheme of things, everything else, I don't think it really matters. You know, was anyone complaining, oh, you only won the league because Sir Alex Ferguson isn't at Man United anymore? Not really.
No.
It's just one of them things.
Moreover, I'm so delighted now that they haven't obviously declared what's going to happen about the 115 charges, because we'd have been Asterix FC. They'd have loved that. They'd have loved to pin that on us. Well, you only won it because Man City, you know what I mean, that been relegated or something like that. So that's what I'm pleased that we won it. We run it organically as well. We've not had no oligarchs or, you know, oilies, you know, funding from one of their companies, £50 million to sponsor something in the tea room. You know,
no skeletons, Geoff.
We've done it. Yeah, we've done it the right way. And I think it's good for football. And that's why I don't understand how all those other teams was on hating Arsenal and wanting Man City to. I mean, you know, fuck me, are you stupid or something or what? You know,
it's because you can square it away, though. It's because you can square it away in the sense of, if Man City win, it's because they're cheating and they're state funded. Whereas if Arsenal win it, it's because everyone else has failed. Do you know what I mean? There's that excuse. You can, if Man City win it, you've got the excuse of it's the oil money, it's Pep Guardiola, it's rada. But if Arsenal do it, it's a tactic, like failure on their part. I think. I don't know if I'm just shooting.
You know what else I think about that situation though as well? You know, Man City, they're a newly born team, really. Let's have it right. I've seen them get relegated 3 or 4 times over the years, and they haven't really, apart from Manchester United, who they've never been a rival to, only apart from the last 10 years or whatever it's been that they've hit the front. They've not had any rivals. You understand me? They've not had the rivals like Arsenal had with Tottenham, and Arsenal had with Man United and Liverpool. You understand me? Where Man City, so it's easy for other teams to, I'd rather Man City than Arsenal. You know, I just think that where they've not had that rivalry, that's what it is.
Because nobody cares about them.
Nobody really cares about Man City. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Did you see that post that was it you, Nick, that put it in the in our group with like Man City won the title and about 7 fans came out when they first won it?
Yeah, and that was like 24-hour notice, and they closed loads of road, and nobody turned up.
No
I mean, like, they're not even filling their stadium at the moment.
No. And then they blame Wembley. They use Wembley as an excuse. Oh, we go so often we can't afford it. Bollocks. Yeah, there's people who are literally selling kidneys to go to Budapest for us. You know, paying 12 grand to go to Crystal Palace away. Like, come on.
Proper sports washing outfit. That's what they are.
And the funny thing is, as well, is we all know that the 115 is coming. I think we all know nothing's going to happen because it was just. But then again, I said that about Southampton, and look what happened to them. But we all know nothing's coming. But one thing we absolutely know is that Pep is getting out now while he can. We know that those charges are imminent because he is running for the hills. I'll tell you that right now. Because he does not want to be part. And if he gets out now, and even if it gets announced in July that he's gone in June, he's a very easy way to say, well, nothing to do with me, Geoff. Like, that club has literally been built around that manager. And I'm not saying he's not a good manager. I mean, he's still a bold fraud, but he's a very good manager. But every club he's been at, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and now Man City, has literally been built around him, whether it be the coaches, whether it be the staff,
all money machines, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
I'd love to see him going at Port Vale or somewhere. See how you get on.
And nobody, and I don't want to say this sort of like, I'll allude to it for legal reasons, allegedly. But isn't it funny how Man City's squad is 100% fit at this stage of the season again? Isn't that funny? I can't imagine why that might be.
Yeah, but anyway, how they do it.
Well, but we're not here to talk about them, so fuck them.
No.
I did have a lovely picture of Pep, a photo, a drawing of Pep jumping off of the sinking ship with 115.
Yeah, I saw that. Fantastic.
Yeah, but as usual, I can't find anything here. So, all right, got one last question. It is from Jimmy, who sent it to us on Facebook. If I can find it. Not that one, not that one. This one. Good question. He says, evening, Danny. Question for the show. We start with Femi with this one. Looking back from when we done the Amazon documentary to where the club is now, the hatred for Stan and Josh to now being champions, and let's face it, without their investment sticking with Arteta, this club could have gone on for years in the wilderness. How much credit or thanks do we actually have to give to the ownership group of the club, as this success has come from their decisions?
I think Kris touched on that, but just to follow up on, what Kris said, I do give them credit, but I also think that decision to hire whoever made the decision to go for Arteta in that December period, because I think he's pushed them more than anything as well. He's shown them, look, for example, penny pinching isn't the way to make money. Or if you want to make money from this club, if that's what their ultimate goal is, the winning is what makes money. As someone said today, that yesterday was the record sales in the Armory store. The website went down on Tuesday night just from people trying to buy shirts. Winning just was the thing that would push.
That was just Chris's order.
I don't know what you mean. I've got no idea what you mean. Authentic one, by the way, 120 quid. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you bought the 100. Okay. Yeah. So those are the things that that they had to realize as well as owners. When Stan first came in, they were of the mindset of we're not in this for trophies. They said that the trophies are not what we're in here for. But the glory, and also I think some of the glory from the women's team as well would have made them open their eyes to, this is about, for football is about winning things. It's not an American sport where you can go out in the playoffs and go again next year. This is about winning. So fair play to them for, especially like Chris said, Josh, for actually paying attention, for being around, for being present, and for giving Mikel a lot of trust. So we cannot argue with that at all.
Talking about the ladies team, just quickly. I saw something the other day. Even that's what I'm saying. We're such a big football team, right? I saw the other day some clips of Arsenal away fans for the ladies team filling up away ends. And there's more people in the away end than there is in the home stands. I mean, it's just amazing what they've done, the girls, But it's the Arsenal brand. It's just it is what it is.
The Arsenal women's average home attendance, if you put that into the men's Premier League, I think they're in the top 10 of average, what's it called? But I agree with what Femi was saying about the Josh and I do think that Arteta has pushed this massively. I go back to that first press conference that Arteta gave, and everything that he was saying was hitting me right between the eyes. He knew what the issue was. He identified the problems, and he was saying all the right things that I wanted him to say, and he's delivered on everything that he's done. I think Femi is absolutely right, and Kris is absolutely right, giving kudos to Josh Kroenkes, because I think they tried to put it in the brain trust of Sven Mislintat and Raul Senyehi and Ivan the Terrible, and they norsed it up. And I think it was right for them to take ownership of it. And I think all of their teams now, the Kroenkes teams, have all been successful of late. I think like the Rams and the Rapids and the Nuggets, they've all been successful. So they obviously know what they're doing. But yeah, I agree with him. I think when you listen to what Arteta has been saying from day dot about getting the engagement with the fans, creating that connection kind of thing, it's just been wonderful, and it is culminated in one of the greatest nights in our history, and we didn't even play. I still keep going back to that Tuesday night. I've never seen anything like it, and yeah, I'm so glad that I gutted that I wasn't there in person, but to be able to sit through and watch all those amazing videos, I don't think no other London club is doing what we did on that Tuesday night. It was just amazing. And as I said earlier, let's not forget just how massive a club we actually are.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, can I just say, like we said about the owners, I think I talked about it earlier, the owners, and I think Femi said something which was kind of turned, which the Kroenkes said when they took over, and the media ran on it, where they said we don't want to win trophies, or it's not. What they actually said was, it's not our job to win trophies, it's our job to run the club and make the money so the manager and the players can win trophies. That's what I'm saying. Where you look at like some owners, like Forrest, the bloke coming on the pitch all the time, and the Chelsea owners sacking the manager every 20 minutes, stuff like that. So, you've got to praise them for coming in, and that just makes you wonder what different universe we'd be in if they'd listened to David Dein and just got him in like 15 years earlier.
Mm.
What if they listened to David Dein and got Usman off in?
Yeah, that's right. No, it would be. You can imagine what club we'd be now. But
I think I just read his book. I'm pretty sure he brought the Kroenkes first, and then David Dein. I've just finished his book, but that's what I said.
True. You remember when he first came in, Arteta? He was a coach, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right. He came in as a coach, and he got to a certain stage and a certain level where he's obviously got in there and demanded. He said, "Listen, you're either with me or you're without me. You give me the manager's job, and I want to manage this football team, and I want to be in charge of certain things. And they've sat down with him. They've believed in him, which is a big thing, right? A new manager, never been a manager before. He's only been an assistant, and they've given him the job and said, "Okay, we're going to buy into you. You're in charge of all the footballing works and everything else." And we've just gone from strength to strength. So, kudos to them as well. You're right. They've done great.
There's that moment, isn't there, in the documentary? I've just weirdly, it popped up on my Prime the other night, probably because of the algorithm, I guess. And I was like, I actually never finished the documentary because we were so bloody awful, and it was just.
I didn't watch the last episode.
I didn't know exactly the same as me. I'm about a quarter of the way through the last episode, and I didn't watch it. But the one clip that I have seen that sort of surfaced on my timeline quite a lot the last couple of days is that clip when Josh goes and sits with Mikel in the cafe, I guess. And Mikel looks like a broken man. Like, he's quiet, he's reserved, he's looking down. And Josh just sort of sits there and I think he sort of says the line of like, everybody just needs somebody there for them every once in a while, And there's just this really
trust the people in the room.
Yeah, and there's just this awkward silence, and you're like, oh God, someone fucking say something, because it's just cringe. But it almost felt like that was the moment when it was like Josh wasn't sort of saying it out loud, but he was saying, "You're our man. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you're going through now. When this time comes," and we probably will have an interview, I imagine, with Josh at some point because it is good PR. He will probably go back to that moment and say, like, we always believed in Mikel. We did. Because there
was that silence, wasn't there? And Arteta, he was obviously thinking about it. I think he said, "Well, that's an amazing thing to say."
Yeah. And it was like a father-son type of moment, yeah. And I also wonder if that was the moment when, because I don't, you might have more insight on this than we do, Geoff, but I would love to know at what point. I know Stan is an elderly gentleman now, but I wonder at what point did he essentially say, "Josh, this is your boy now," because Stan was quite, although he was obviously silent Stan, he was front and center of the initial takeover or the initial time when they come in, whereas since then it has always been Evil Josh, as he's been nicknamed, and I do wonder, like, it's clear that he is front and center of Kroenke Sports Investments as far as Arsenal's concerned, and I think Stan stepping away from that, I think, has probably got quite a lot to do, because Josh comes across, I don't know how old he is, but he's not an old guy, is he? He's what, sort of 50s, I would guess. And I imagine Mikel can relate to him.
Yeah. I think at the time it was the time that it was all kicking off with Aubameyang.
That's right.
That power struggle between them. I think that was the change of guard right there and then. He said, "Listen, we've got to change the whole characters in this in the room." And he's obviously gone and said, "You've got to believe me, because otherwise you're either in it with me or I can't be here." I reckon that's what's occurred, and I think they've just bought into it, and here we are. It's great.
Yeah.
And I think the next 5 years is going to be amazing.
We'll save all that for the next podcast about where do we go from here. Now, Nick has got a question that he wants to ask.
Yeah, I just want to ask basically Femi and Geoff, because you're obviously season ticket holders, and I haven't been a season ticket holder, but I did stop my red membership when it was getting close to like season ticket sort of status sort of thing, because the games I was getting, and one of them, I think I might have been an Emirates Cup. This Emirates was horrible. That was when we weren't signing players. It was toxic. People were arguing before the game in a pre-season friendly, fighting each other. And when I think we lost to Galatasaray, and some guys were losing their shit. One guy decided to 2-foot a bin out of the ground somehow, and I thought, I can't deal with this anymore. And then when that was I know. So you guys, and then I noticed pick up. You guys at the Emirates, and when I saw the videos coming out, especially the Atletico Madrid game, now we've got like the North London Forever, and I just see the fans there.
Yeah.
Compared to what that was. I mean, I think I had one of your season tickets a few years ago, Femi, and I thought, this feels a little bit more like Highbury than the last time I was there, because I was horrible. I didn't like it. just like thank you guys for however you've done that, and just like maybe just say a quick thing on how like, the journey it's been, and now feels like we're officially home, aren't we?
It's like a christening now. We've got a big trophy at the new stadium. We was all waiting for it. It's happened. Now we can say, okay, we've got our feet in there now. We're champions. We won it at this stadium over the course of the season, obviously. And, okay, this is our home. And I think, hopefully we can just go on from there. But, but last 3 years has been, the atmosphere has got better and better and better, really. Of course, listen, it's been a long while, 22 years. So you can imagine the tension and everything, where we've been close 3 times on the trot. It's like everyone thinking like, are we ever going to do this? So it's pressure. Like I say, I've not enjoyed the last 12 games because it's been very difficult for me. I don't think I can grow my nails now,
We're not getting any younger, Geoff.
No, exactly, mate. Honestly, yeah, it's true.
I think with like what Rich said about the Fulham game after we lost to City, I think the fans was at the Fulham game after that. And then the fans just turned up and just turned it on so much, being the 12th man, where I think that got them. I think the fans played their part at the Emirates almost as much as the players because they didn't turn on them.
Yeah. I think, I look back at the journey sometimes and I remember there's some games that just stood out to me. Like you were saying, there was a Swansea game that we lost 2-0.
Oh, man.
And I think Michu scored 2
wow.
goals. And he broke from the halfway line and and if you saw the fighting that went on behind me, I couldn't believe it. People were fighting. It was horrible. There was 2 Man City games also. There was one after the League Cup final where they beat us. I think that Aguero goal where Mustafi went to bump him from a goal kick and forgot that. And then we had to play them. And then we had to play them at home like 3 days later, and it was snowing. And I swear to you, my whole row was empty. And I thought, what am I doing here? Yeah. Everyone was just like gave up at that point. That was on the Wenger. And then the other Man City game on the Freddie, where the game just before Mikel took over, it was just airy. People just had given up.
It was men against boys, wasn't it? It was just ridiculous.
I didn't see a way for us to ever even be at the top table at that point. And honestly, the job that Mikel's done, the things that have come organically, North London Forever came organically. There was so much different things that just happened and then there was just a point where it just went into overdrive. In that season when Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko's joined, I swear to you, something just clicked in that crowd and people went from watching to supporting.
See the ambition.
And it got loud and it got louder and louder and it went down a bit. Obviously with expectation it changes because now you're more nervous. You kind of expect to beat certain teams and I just think that we for the last 5 games, I think they just said, you know what, let's just get behind the team and just see where it gets us. I think
do what we do best.
Do you think that it was so? Sorry to come back in. Do you think it was? I remember I went to the one. It was Arsenal v Chelsea, and it was the year Chelsea were the champions, and it was just after the game where everyone got COVID at Brentford. And my prevailing feeling of that is because you'd had, whereas, under Wenger and then under Emery, there was season tickets were becoming more, not ready, but put up for exchange and stuff like that. Yeah. And there was more tickets about kind of thing. And it felt like there was like a younger crowd. And then, Saka started coming through, Smith Rowe started coming through, and there felt like a younger crowd. And there was more, and they said, what Arteta was doing, forging that connection, like you said, Femi said, organically. Because I think in general, if you try to shove something down some people's throat, they'll reject it. They'll shit on it and they'll reject it. And like you said, I think that's such a great point that about it being organically. And I kind of noticed a massive difference then. We lost, was it 2-0? We lost that day. Lukaku, who they just signed for like 100 million or 90 million or whatever, kind of did a job on us, kind of thing. But I felt it felt different even then. We felt like you said, people were supporting the club and there was a bit more of a connection. Do you think that there was a little bit of that, in the sense of certain people might have been weeded out, and that a younger, more connected crowd came through, like with the Ashburton Army and that? Or am I way off branch there?
Fine. I think.
No. You're bang on there. I think that the Ashburton Army. I mean, I was a bit sad that they lost some of their allocation at that point, with all the silver and all the politics around ticketing and stuff like that. But definitely a younger crowd, and I don't know if it's less. It got less touristy, I think, as well. I mean, you definitely get a lot of tourists there. But what happened was, because silver members wanted to come at this point, other members that weren't getting tickets regularly now it was, tickets are like gold dust now. So now old people that used to come and be like, oh, I just want to get one ticket. If I can just get one ticket, and then you started getting less of the tourists, especially around me where I sit now. People just share their tickets and say, oh, I can't go. Do you want to use it? And I might invite Carl or someone and say, do you want to use the ticket? Because I've got a spare one at this week. So the tickets were more circulating around us and other people, rather than going to tourists and things like that. So yeah, I think those types of things just kind of helped as well. But yeah, now trying to get a ticket is like, just try. It's really hard to get tickets. People are paying anything for tickets right now.
To be fair, though, Fab, not everyone has a gold throne on top of the stadium like you do. No. So, it's obviously not easy to...
I wish.
I think are we all done now? Because we have come up with some questions for next time, like where do we go, where do we build on this, and the downfall of other clubs. But are we all done? Because it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, I think so. Unless anyone's got anything else they want to add. Yeah.
No. That's it.
I would like to give if I may, I would like to just remember the fallen soldiers. I just see James Johnston there.
Geoff, look at the screen. I had this ready. This is how
Danny, I apologise.
No, you go on. No.
Okay. Well, you know that they're up there smiling and proud of what the football team have done. Gunaholic and Lord Hillwood, who was great guys over the time of the podcast. They've done many with us, and it's been brilliant, isn't it? And they're up there, and God bless them.
Yeah, James said it because, like me, James lost his mum 5 days before I lost my mum, and my mum was a Gooner, and I think his mum was, and I think his brother is, and that's Ellis's dad in there.
Oh, right.
Ellis lost his dad as well, and they cut the top of Ellis's head off. I mean, there's no loss there. And there's been so many people, like the lady who shouts, "Come on, you Gunners!" She
Mary,
passed away. She was an old school teacher. There's been so many. Recently at the game, Femi, did you see that Arsenal put on the jumbo, whatever they call the Jumbotron now? They put a list of all the Arsenal members that had passed away. And you think, in the season, maybe 5 or 6, there must have been about 50 or 60 people on that list, wasn't there?
Way more.
I think it was way more than that.
Yeah, way more than that.
Way more, yeah.
Yeah, and plus we lost people from other podcasts. There was from the Bruised Banana podcast, the young man, if you remember it, he come on and he had a green goalkeeper's top on. We lost him, and then there's been people from AFTV that have sadly passed away. And
Claude. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a big head, wasn't he? Claude, bless him. He took a lot of stick. I had a few run-ins with him, but it was all like banter. But I did respect him. He was a good man, and they're other proper Arsenal people.
Yeah.
That we're talking about now. So we're all doing the same thing, really.
And I think it's also important that whilst we mourn the ones we've lost, I think it's also really important to highlight. And I know a lot of clubs do this, but obviously we see it through Arsenal eyes. The work that Arsenal do both in the community and with things like disabled supporters, blind supporters, elderly supporters is there. As I said the other night, like with those crowds, there was I can't remember where I saw this video, but there was a young lady who I believe she had something like cerebral palsy. She was on crutches, and the whole crowd, it was like that scene in Fools and Horses when Dell drives back through the estate and all the rioting, and they all just part as he walks through. All the fans just moved out of the way, and it's such a small thing, but when you've got people who are not necessarily able-bodied, like Danny, you can speak from experience. It's very easy for clubs to forget about fans like that, and they're as much a part of this as all of us who are, touch wood, fit and healthy to enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Well said.
I think so. Final words for this week's podcast. I don't know what was more unlikely, us doing 4 podcasts in 4 weeks or Arsenal winning the league. I think it's 50-50 between those two things. Thank you very much to everybody who joined us tonight, all the wonderful people in the chat who stuck with us all the way through and stuck with us. Some of you have been here straight from the very first podcast, many 13 seasons ago. Thanks to Richard and Nick and Geoff and Kris and Femi, plus the ones that aren't here, like Carl and John and Fuck Ellis and all the lads from Goonosphere who have done stuff with us during this time. And who else isn't here that is in our WhatsApp group for the podcast? There's going to be someone I've forgotten, isn't there? You're all in the WhatsApp group. Who have I missed?
I forgot who you even said.
Yeah. Anyway, and then the ones that have got this podcast to where it was, like the legendary Jason Davies and Dom Newski, who was in the chat, and Canadian Geoff and Shredder, who was with us for so long, and then
Mr. Collins.
And Simon Collins and Mr. Fife, the legendary Mr. Fifey. And then, God, I was looking the other day, we've had over 200 people on this podcast.
FK.
FK, yeah.
FK. Carnage.
Oh, FK, certainly. Yeah, he's one of the original. And John, he was one of the original ones. And I suppose Gimli should get a mention, because without Gimli, this probably wouldn't be where it was, because
that's true.
Didn't end too well.
Yeah,
but it all got started that way. And Uncle Raj, who kept trying to buy the podcast and trying to buy Chris's Pirates, and he never really got anywhere. And all the other people that we've forgotten, because there's been so many. So I just want to use this occasion just to say, dedicate this our 13 years and our title win to like James's mum, Sophie's mum, my mum, Ellis's dad, and Steve Lord Hillwood and Dave Goonaholic, because you probably wouldn't be here without those people, and we miss them very much. So thank you very much, everybody. And this is hopefully it's going to end the stream properly, because that was a nice way to end it. So we will be back sometime soon. Champions, ole, ole, ole. Oh, together now. Thank you very much, everybody, and good night.
God bless.